Welcome back to College Football Addiction. Some breaking news this morning that I want to talk about in a way that we've maybe never done on this channel before. Now, if you're new here, I am a diehard FSU guy. You can see the Bobby Bowden signed football back here. You can see the FSU game-worn cleats. Now, because we do a national show, there's some other stuff back there on the wall that maybe gives some love to some other programs as well. But I'm an FSU fan who had the absolute time of my life in Dublin for the Aer Lingus College Football Classic back in August of 2024. Today, I'm going to talk about some exciting news for both UNC and TCU fans. You know this already. I'm not breaking the news for you, but your teams are kicking off the 2026 college football season in Dublin. I'm going to explain to you why you should go, drop some key facts that you need to know, and then talk about some of the unforgettable experiences that I had in Dublin at the Aer Lingus Classic. You need to hear this. Start saving now. This is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. If a Kansas State or an Iowa State or any Big 12 fans hear this, we're going to quick shout out for you as well as you are kicking off this year's college football season in Dublin. But let's dive in. You do not want to miss it. So let's get to the big news. On August 29th, 2026, the University of North Carolina Tar Heels, led by NFL legend Bill Belichick, who will be entering in his second season, will take on the TCU Horned Frogs at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland, as part of the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. This is huge. Belichick, with his 8 Super Bowl rings, is bringing a new era to UNC, and they'll be facing off against TCU, a team that made it to the 2022 College Football National Championship game. It's the 5th matchup between these two programs since 1940, but the first time that they'll play internationally, making this a historic moment for both schools. Now, let me take you back to 2024 when I went to Dublin to watch FSU take on Georgia Tech in the Aer Lingus Classic. Guys, it was, and I hate to repeat this, but I couldn't think of another way to write it or word it, the true experience of a lifetime. Imagine walking through the streets of Dublin, cobblestone paths, right? Not a college town, but a centuries-old city, live music pouring out of pubs, people that you'll never meet again, and then people that you've known forever. You see your colors of the program you support everywhere. For me, it was an absolute garnet and gold takeover. Georgia Tech had played there previously, and so I saw less of their fans throughout the week. They certainly showed up on game day. UNC fans, TCU fans, you will feel that same rush, seeing that Tar Heel blue, and TCU fans seeing that Horned Frog purple all over Dublin. The game itself was electric. Aviva Stadium was packed out, 47,988 fans. And I learned from College Football Ireland that 28,000 or so of those fans were international visitors, including 25,000 from the U.S. I sat next to some Irish locals who taught me their chants. We cheered together. The stadium roared. It was unreal. But it wasn't just about the game. As you know how it ended, Florida State didn't win and then didn't go on to have a great season. But it was the highlight, maybe not surprisingly, of the 2024 season for me. But it wasn't just about the game. We spent a full week plus over there in the UK. We spent some time in Dublin. We spent some time in London. And every day was an absolute adventure. I visited the Cliffs of Moher, which are absolutely breathtaking. Those dramatic cliffs dropping into the Atlantic Ocean looked just like the stunning scenery that you can see in UNC's announcement post. I also took a self-guided tour of the Guinness Storehouse in St. James Gate, where I learned the 250-year history of Ireland's iconic stout. And let me tell you, the pints there just taste better. My wife's not a dark beer fan. She loved the Guinness over there in Dublin. We went to the Jameson factory. You can even see this. Knowles in Dublin. You can get one customized. See if the thing will focus there. You can get one customized with whatever you want. Knowles in Dublin, 2024. That is, you can see the hole back there. That literally sits on my shelf forever because of getting it there. Friends of mine explored castles and took a day trip to Galway and had some of the best fish and chips of your life at a local pub. Dublin in August was phenomenal. The weather can be unpredictable, between 55 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and it might rain, but that just adds to the charm. Pack layers, and you'll be fine. Let's talk about the actual game, the Aer Lingus College Football Classic, to give you a sense of how big this event is. When Florida State played Georgia Tech in 2024, the game aired live on ESPN and pulled in 5 million viewers. Game Day was there. They broadcast live from Dame Street in Dublin. They had 1.6 million viewers and spiked to 2 million in the final hour. The economic impact was massive too. U.S. visitors stayed an average of 7 nights, pouring money into hotels, restaurants, and local tours. This isn't just a game, it's a global stage for college football, and it's a cultural experience that brings fans together from all over the world. For TCU fans, here's a cool tidbit. You're the designated home team for this game. But don't worry about losing a game in Fort Worth. Your program is getting compensated for making the trip, which shows how prestigious this event is. UNC fans and TCU fans, I'm speaking to you directly now. You don't want to miss this. Start saving today. The trip is worth every penny. Let's break down the cost so you can get a plan ahead. Flights from the U.S. to Dublin can range from $600 to $1,200 round trip, depending on when you book. If you start saving now, that's $150 a month until about 2026, and you'll be all set. Hotels in Dublin can range from $150 to $400 a night. So book early and snag a good deal. Trust me, with 50,000 fans coming, they will fill up fast. I split an Airbnb with 2 other groups that I was familiar with, friends that I knew that were going, and we saved money that way. Tickets for the game range between $80 and $200, so budget for that as well. And keep an eye out for an official ticket info, which hasn't been released just yet. The game is more than just football, though. It is a chance to make memories that will absolutely last a lifetime. Imagine tailgating with the Irish fans in pubs. We rented out the top floor of a pub and took over, swapping stories over pints of Guinness and shots of Jameson and cheering on your team in a stadium 3,500 miles from home. For UNC fans, you'll get to see Belichick's new era continue to unfold on an international stage. TCU fans, you'll be supporting a team with a history of making big statements, and this game could set the tone for your season. It certainly did for Florida State in the worst way possible. Beyond the game, Ireland has so much to offer. You can explore the countryside, visit historic sites, soak in the culture. This is a trip you'll be talking about for years. Now, before I wrap up, I've got a quick shout out for Kansas State and Iowa State fans. Your teams are playing in Dublin this August in 2025, also at Aviva Stadium, for the 4th annual Aer Lingus College Football Classic. You don't have as much time to save. You don't have as much time to prepare, but I implore you to go. This will be the first time your teams open a season against each other in Dublin, and it's going to be just as incredible as my FSU trip was. Cyclones and Wildcats, don't wait. Book your tickets now. Aer Lingus is not sponsoring this. They're not paying me to do this. In fact, I'll give a little love to our friends over at Alumni Hall. If you're a UNC fan or any college football fan, make sure you're shopping with Alumni Hall and that you are decked out. Look for their green gear. Look for anything on it that has a shamrock because you're going to want to use that, wear that while you're over there. It's all part of the fun. CFA 15 at alumnihall.com will save you 15%. That's CFA 15. We appreciate them for their support. You will not regret the trip. It's the same global stage, the same electric atmosphere, and the same chance to explore Ireland while cheering on your team. I got some questions from UNC folks on X from the Sidelines account, and the biggest question that I got was, what are some of the ways that the game day experience is different from the Dublin games compared to the games here? Talking about that, I think the pregame is what's the biggest difference. You're not tailgating out on the street. In fact, they don't really have tailgating there in Dublin. It's not a thing like it here is in the U.S. So you're bar hopping. You're going from bar to bar to bar all around the stadium. There, downtown, wherever you are. The stadium's not too far from downtown. You can get an Uber, which I certainly recommend. Bouncing around bar to bar to bar. And you're taking in their tradition, right? That was the coolest thing to me. We went to London for a few days and we experienced a Chelsea versus Man City match. There's always other stuff going on. The Premier League will be started by then, so you could take a quick flight over to London and see a Premier League game. But I also watched a Premier League weekend in a bar, and that's a ton of fun. You're pre-gaming like they do, right? Don't worry about a tailgate because that's not really a thing there. Go and immerse yourself in the traditions that they have. Go drink Guinness in a pub before a game. Drink a lot of it. Enjoy it. Drink Jameson. Enjoy that. You might be a bourbon guy. You might not be a Scotch. You might be a Scotch, whatever. enjoy the local Irish whiskey. You're only there. You only get to try it while you're there. It's not the same here in the US. I promise you will enjoy it. The actual game day, though, it feels like a college football game. It doesn't feel like you're at a soccer game or anything like that. Once the game kicks off, you feel like you're at a college football game. The weather's phenomenal. It did not rain during our game, which was great. Can't guarantee that that'll be the case for you, but that's the biggest difference. The biggest difference on game day is the fact that you're so far away and you're taking in their pregame traditions. How were we treated by the locals? Phenomenally. They are so kind. They're so warm. If I had to compare it, which we spent a little time in London and a little time in Dublin, people in London, I'm not calling them out. Hopefully nobody over there gets offended by this. It's kind of the difference between going from New York and Chicago, where New York is just so fast paced. There's so many people. It's so like point A to point B. Like they're not super, super kind. They're not mean, but they're just a little bit more busy. They're a little more hurried. Dublin, it's slower. They're kinder. They're so welcoming. The locals are so thankful that you're there. They understand the economic impact of the tourism, the dollars that you're bringing, and they love visitors. From the Uber drivers to the tour guides to just the people working the hotels. Phenomenal, phenomenal people. They could not have been nicer. And I cannot recommend the locals there enough. They make you feel like you're at home. They make you feel like family for sure. Much more than London does. Again, I kind of compare it to Chicago versus New York. Both fun, both have the things that you like. Chicago just a little more friendly, a little warmer. Another question. We constantly hear stories of epic European crowds. What was the atmosphere like in the stadium? Were there any differences from your typical game in the US? I'll say they weren't crazy. And that's why I would say try to take in another match while you're over there if you're a sports fan. Now, you may not be a Premier League soccer fan or anything like that, but I was able to go over to London and see Manchester City and Chelsea play. That was absurd. I've been to other games in Spain. I've been to other big soccer games and stuff. That was really, really cool. The actual vibe of Aviva Stadium, the actual vibe of the college football game with more US folks there than locals, it feels about like a college football game. It doesn't feel like a raucous European crowd or anything crazy like that. There will be plenty of people from Europe there, whether they're from London or locals, they're from Dublin. There will be plenty of them there. But the college football experience does truly feel like a college football experience. And that's why I would recommend, if you can, go to a rugby match. Florida State's rugby team played against, I think it was Trinity College there the night before the game. I a week earlier went to that Chelsea-Man City match. If you can take in another experience while you're there, I certainly recommend it. And then the last one we got was in paragraph form. Since it's a video, maybe sell fans on making the trip. Well, if I haven't done that for you just yet, that I've just kind of been spilling my breath here for 12 plus minutes. I cannot encourage it enough. You've got enough time right now to start to save for this trip. It is absolutely worth it. Aviva is not sponsoring this. Aer Lingus is not sponsoring this. If they want to reach out and hit me up, I'm certainly down for it. But I'm telling you, this is a trip of a lifetime, and you should absolutely do it. Back to UNC and TCU fans, listen, mark your calendars for August 29th, 2026. Get ready for the trip of a lifetime. The Aer Lingus College Football Classic isn't just a game, it's a cultural journey that brings college football to the world stage, and you need to be part of it. I still get chills thinking about my time in Ireland. I know you'll feel the same way. Start saving, plan ahead, and pack your passports. Dublin is waiting for you. If you're an FSU fan who went this year, drop your favorite memory in the comments below. If you're a UNC or TCU fan, Iowa State or Kansas State, I'd love for you to go as well this year. I would love to hear from the FSU fans that went, though. Let them know what you enjoyed outside of the result of the game. I will tell you this in closing, there is nothing better than an Irish pub. Even here in the U.S., I would rather go to an Irish bar than most bars. I've got a local favorite spot here in Tampa, got a local favorite spot there in Tallahassee when I'm up there as well. The ones out there blow it away. The live music, how crowded they are, so much Guinness, you do not want to miss that. Listen, because of the way this game falls, I cannot go to the Kansas State, Iowa State. I'm thinking about going to the one in 2026. Horned Frogs, Tar Heels, I don't care who wins. I don't care what happens. I'll wear a double fry shirt or a college football addiction shirt or something like that. But I'm thinking about going. I can't this year because the way it falls is too close to my daughter's birthday. I'm thinking about making a quick trip out there to Dublin and seeing the one next year. Listen, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what questions you have. I'll try and answer as many as I can down in the comments. If you're a UNC fan, a TCU fan, or even Kansas State, Iowa State, you need to be there. Do your best to get there if you can. Appreciate you guys watching. It's a little bit different of a video. No breaking news or anything like that. Just giving you our experience from going. We'll talk to you guys soon here on College Football Addiction.